Welcome back to our channel. We're so glad you're here with us today. If you love inspiring stories and timeless lessons, you're in the right place. In today's video, we're looking into the incredible story of Moses, a tale of faith, courage, and the amazing ways God works in our lives. So grab a comfy seat and let's jump right in. Our story begins in ancient Egypt, a time when pharaohs ruled with an iron fist. The Israelites, God's chosen people, were slaves under Pharaoh's harsh rule. Life was bitter and full of suffering, but God had a plan, and it started with a baby named Moses. Pharaoh feared the Israelites were becoming too powerful, so he ordered all baby boys born to them to be thrown into the Nile. But Moses' mother refused to give up. She placed him in a basket, carefully waterproofed it, and set it afloat on the river. By God's plan, Pharaoh's own daughter found the baby. She took him in and raised him as her son, unknowingly saving the future leader of Israel. Though Moses grew up in Pharaoh's palace, he could not ignore the pain of his people. One day he saw an Egyptian beating an Israelite slave. Overcome with anger, Moses struck the Egyptian, killing him. Afraid for his life, Moses fled to the land of Midian. There he started a new life, becoming a shepherd and starting a family. But God wasn't done with him yet. One day while tending his sheep, Moses saw something extraordinary, a bush that burned but wasn't consumed by the fire. Curious, he approached, and then he heard a voice, God's voice.
Moses, I have heard the cries of my people. I am sending you to Pharaoh to demand their freedom.
Moses was hesitant. Who am I to confront Pharaoh? He asked. But God reassured him, saying,
I will be with you.
Moses returned to Egypt, armed with God's command. He stood before Pharaoh and boldly said, Let my people go. But Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he refused. God sent 10 plagues upon Egypt to show his power and convince Pharaoh. Each plague was worse than the last, yet Pharaoh would not relent until the final plague. God warned Moses of the final plague, the death of the firstborn. To protect his people, God commanded them to mark their doorposts with lamb's blood. That night, the angel of death passed over every house marked with the blood. The final plague struck Pharaoh's household, claiming the life of his firstborn son. Overwhelmed with grief, Pharaoh finally allowed the Israelites to leave. They departed quickly, carrying with them the hope of freedom and a new beginning. But Pharaoh changed his mind and sent his army after them. Trapped between the sea and the soldiers, the Israelites panicked. Moses, trusting in God, stretched out his staff. The water split, creating a path. The Israelites crossed safely, and when Pharaoh's army pursued, the waters returned, wiping them out. Free at last, the Israelites journeyed into the wilderness. On Mount Sinai, God gave Moses the 10 Commandments, laws to guide his people in their new life of freedom. These commandments taught the Israelites how to live in harmony with God and one another. Though Moses didn't live to enter the promised land, his faith and courage brought his people to the brink of their destiny. His story reminds us that God can use anyone, no matter their doubts or flaws, to accomplish great things. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. Moses' story is a powerful testament to faith, courage, and God's steadfast ability to deliver his people. So what do you think of his incredible journey? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. See you in our next video, and thank you for watching.